Welcome back, girls and guys, and we are in Belgium this week at the famous Spa Francorchamps. I love saying that word, Francorchamps. This is one of the most historic and most challenging tracks. There's a lot of history here, which I'm not going to share with you, else this video is going to be too long. But this is a sprint weekend. Sprint weekend not being my favorite. So basically on Friday, the teams only have one practice session and then we have sprint quali. Saturday we have the sprint race and the quali, and of course Sunday the normal race. So let's get into it. This is a very high speed circuit. Not sure if you guys have been watching the 24-hour. I've been enjoying it. Happened about a few weeks ago here at Spa. I just cannot wait for this track this weekend. Like I said, high speed circuit. It also has long straights and challenging corners, some slow corners, and the famous Eau Rouge corner, which we all love, and the elevation. So we know how the cars come out of that corner and they zip up that hill. I absolutely love that part. This track is also very unpredictable with the weather. It can be raining on one side of the track, dry on the other side. But this weekend's forecast is showing some rain. So this is going to be exciting this weekend. The teams normally choose a low downforce package because of the speed on the circuit, but some go with a mid downforce because of the corners. So let's see what the teams do this weekend, but I'm pretty sure most of them are doing low downforce. Let's get into the circuit stats. So we have 44 laps. Yes, it sounds a little, but this is actually one of the longest tracks. The circuit length here is about 7 kilometers. Race distance is 308.52 kilometers. So we have a normal race distance. Generally, the teams that did well at Silverstone do well here. Lap record holder here is Sergio Perez. How we all miss him now, with a time of 1 minute 44 seconds 0.7, and he did this last year in 2024. Yes, Perez was actually a good driver. Generally, this is a two-stop race, but this year Pirelli's shaking things up a bit. They're coming with a C1 as a hard tire, C3 as a medium, changing it up by giving the C4 a soft this year. And apparently they're trying to do this to shake things up a bit, but also try and get the drivers to use softer tires. Generally, most of the drivers here have done medium to soft and medium to hard. So let's see if they're going to do a medium to soft this week with the shake-up from Pirelli. It's going to be interesting to see. We all know tires are so important to this whole F1 game. Let's get into some of the teams. So Red Bull did not have a great weekend at Silverstone. They went with a low downforce package, and I think a lot of people were screaming at them saying they should be using the higher downforce package. Yuki didn't have a great race. Again, I don't know what's happening with Yuki. Also, the tire choices were an issue, and eventually when the track started drying up, Max started doing better. But from the beginning, from the get-go, it was a bit of a mess at Silverstone. And then, of course, we had that breaking news that happened about 2 weeks ago. So Red Bull is just all over the place, but this track could favor them because it is more of a front-end circuit, and we know Max has done very well here. They just have to make sure that the tire choices are correct. I'm not sure how Yuki's going to do here. I can't actually remember him doing very well in the past, but Max has always done well. So Max could pull one out of the bag. I think he really wants to because, you know, all the bad press and all of that's going on. And then Ferrari. So Ferrari was a bit of a mixed bag at Silverstone. Charles had the wrong tires in, then he came to pit, and then he really couldn't catch up from where he was and all the mistakes that sort of happened in the race with the tires and that kind of thing. Lewis, though, had a good race, and I felt that Lewis was going to win. He was like on the cusp of winning, but we had that traffic, and of course we had the Hulk in the way. And all said and done, everybody's really happy for the Hulk, and I'm super happy for Nico. He did well. I mean, 244 starts or something, or races to get his first podium. I think that's great. I obviously really wanted Lewis to win. I kind of feel like the odds are stacked against him with Ferrari, but it was one of his best races actually. So I think he really tried what he could. Generally, Ferrari does do sort of well here at Spa. Lewis has never come lower than 4th at Spa. So like I said, if the teams do well at Silverstone, they could do well at Spa. And seeing that Lewis had a good race, it could sort of means something, or I'm hoping, okay guys, I'm really hoping. They are also bringing a new rear suspension. I'm not sure if you saw, I think it was last week, they said they were filming, but they were testing the new rear suspension and apparently all went good. So let's, fingers crossed for a Ferrari on the podium or just somewhere up there. Then we had Mercedes at Silverstone, and it was a bit of an up and down race. And also, they went with the dry tires knowing it would rain. And I was thinking, Mercedes, you know the weather here. You have probably the best data from all the years with Lewis and tires and rain at Silverstone. Why were you going to go with dry tires in the beginning? I just don't understand. So that kind of put George on the back foot, but he managed to creep up there again. Kimi, of course, was taken out by Hadja, so that wasn't great for them. Spa is, of course, cooler, so we could see the Mercedes do better here because we are still seeing it's doing better in cooler weather. So let's see. Let's not discount George here with Spa. I'm not sure about Kimi. You have to be a very skilled driver with this track. So I am worried about the rookies, and hopefully Kimi and the other rookies are able to manage themselves. I have said before a while back that Kimi also races supercars, so sports and GT, so he could have some experience here. But of course, in F1 car, it's a little bit different, but I think if he's raced there before, he knows the track. And lastly, we have McLaren, and I keep on saying their car is adaptable to any circuit. I don't see any problem here at Spa for them. Of course, Lando won, but we know also Oscar was upset with that 10-second penalty. But the thing is, people need to think about how Oscar felt. He was leading the race all the time. Because of the penalty, of course, he took a knock, and then Lando went in front. And what I think is that he wanted Lando to give the place back, which of course didn't happen. So it's gone, it's over, neither here nor there. Lando and him are sitting 8 points from each other in the Drivers' Championship. And yeah, this weekend's going to be interesting. Last year was Oscar's first podium win here, and I'm sure he's going to go for another podium win. And they are bringing a new floor to Spa. So this is going to be interesting because I feel like they pretty much don't really need to do anything to the car. And also with these new upgrades that the teams are bringing, remember we only have one practice on Friday. From that practice, they need to make sure of everything in that, 40-minute practice for the whole weekend. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And of course, the tire issue that I said. For quali and sprint quali, I'm going to go for the same top three. I do think Max is going to pull something out here. I think he may be on pole, but I don't see him winning the race. That Lando and Oscar are going to be on the top three for quali and sprint quali. Those three do very well with quali. I can't think of anybody else now that could sort of break that top three. Maybe George. If the car is running cooler with the cooler temps, George could possibly get there. But I definitely see for quali and sprint quali, we're going to go with a Max, Oscar, Lando situation. And then for the race, 2023, the winners were Max, then it was Checo, and then it was Leclerc and Hamilton being fourth. Okay, so we know that Ferrari does do well there. Last year, Hamilton won this because Russell was DQ'd, so he got first place. And then it was Oscar, and then it was Charles and Max being fourth. This year, I feel that Oscar's really going to go for it. He had his first podium year last year. McLaren's already been posting about it as well. So I feel that Oscar can win the race. I see Lando coming second. Third, I'm going to go for a Max or maybe a George Russell. Of course, I want to see Lewis or Charles up there. But yeah, that's it. A lot of motorsport happening this weekend. Stay tuned to my pages. And I'm also going to be sharing some more Simola content and all the content that I've been capturing for you guys. And guys, if you're driving to the Algoa Rally this weekend in PE, enjoy, be safe. I have serious FOMO that I'm not going to be there because I'm getting pictures of last year and I'm thinking, why did I not go? So guys and girls, enjoy it, stay safe, and have a good one. Bye.